We've all heard of biggest nerfs in Clash Royale history, and it's getting quite repetitive. So why not be positive and look at the biggest buffs in Clash Royale? Balance changes that overpowered a card, making it much better than it was. Around February 2023, archers were a very niche card, barely seen in any decks, even the meta ones. Despite that, they held a modest use rate of 3% and a 50% win rate. Apparently the devs thought, nah, this win rate really sucked, so they buffed their hit speed, reducing it by 0.2 seconds. And remember, these are two archers, which may really increase their DPS. It's like a DPS increase of 20%. All of a sudden, they were used everywhere, outclassing their competition and becoming the best card at a 38% use rate. This proves that a card having a low win rate doesn't mean it necessarily sucks. Moving on to the disastrous Season 3 of September 2019, Executioner was also a pretty garbage card, so he was in for a big rework. They nerfed his range by 1.5 tiles, his hit speed by 0.1, first hit attack by 0.2, health by 5%, but they buffed his damage by 98%, soon enough 82%. Of course, the community freaked out because all of a sudden, Executioner was able to 5-shot a crown tower, and this rework was supposed to make him separated from Tornado, but it only made him more dependent on it, and the community knew that, because back in the day, Tornado had half the strength but double the duration. This made the Ex-Nado combo extremely deadly. Everyone was using these two cards because of their extreme defensive value. After becoming the third best card at a 37% use rate, they ultimately decided to revert the rework and make Executioner normal again. Moving on to Season 4, the birth of the Elixir Golem. But we're looking at the Witch because she also had an incredible rework. Because again, she was a pretty mid-ladder menace card, just like right now. So the devs nerfed every single aspect about her, however, they buffed her damage. Now you might be thinking, why would they do that? Well, it was because of the competition of Wizard and Executioner. Basically, they nerfed, as I said, every single aspect about her. However, the damage buff was 220%, which is the second biggest stat buff in Clash Royale history. She became the second best card at a 47% use rate, which made people use poison to counter her skeletons. She became a general menace, not just a mid-ladder one, because she was a splash damage musketeer that spawned skeletons. She didn't just become a support card, she was deadly, one-shotting Dart Goblin and similar cards. She was a force to be reckoned with. Then in November, they killed her by removing the splash damage and many other things. But none of it compares to the Mighty Miner buff of December 2022. He's a champion, so of course he's gonna have a low use rate, but the devs apparently didn't understand that. So, in December 2022, they buffed his movement speed from medium to fast. And we all know how impactful speed buff, speed balance changes are. When the elite barbarians were at their prime, they were very fast, and when they were rendered to fast, and despite the compensational buffs, they died. Just like the Goblin Cage too. When the Goblin Brawler went from very fast to fast, his use rate dropped from 24% to 0%. This Mighty Miner was truly mighty all of a sudden. And it didn't make sense because he's carrying this big drill and the giant bomb, yet all of a sudden he's fast. That's pretty much the speed of a bandit or similar cards. The speed buff was so impactful that it was rendered one of the worst balance changes, because again, low win rate doesn't mean bad. The card could have a modest use rate. That's it for the video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.